Salute and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, where you'll enjoy an entertaining short story from acclaimed humor columnist Rob Kreider. Storytime is the family portion of the show. Then we move on from the stories to the cocktails. This is where the alcohol and the not safe for work portion of the show takes over, as Rob and his wife /editor /muse Sara Kreider partake in some adult beverages and provide you with a behind the scenes recap of what really inspired the original story. Put your feet up, relax, and enjoy yourself a round of stories and cocktails. Cheers.
The story's called Friday Night Lights by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. The day my son was born, fat and screaming as he was forced out of the safety of his mother's body, I hoped one day he would grow up to be a football player. During the first year outside of his mother's womb, he was on track for football since he was quite fat. He wasn't big-boned or husky. He was actually just big-time fat. Like, people would stop us in the grocery store and have to comment on how fat our baby was. My wife, whom I love, beamed every time someone mentioned how big our son was and told anyone who would listen, he's just a healthy, breastfed little boy. I didn't feel the need to inform total strangers our son was breastfed. I was just glad he was big. I imagined him maturing into a massive defensive lineman, smashing through fools half his size and squashing quarterbacks on the way to a state football title. I would be so proud. I couldn't wait until he was in high school. I even saw myself possibly coaching the team to help improve his skills and thus improve his chances of getting a college scholarship. I wanted all of this for my son because I have my own fond memories of high school football. I was proud of my status as a football player, even though I was actually a third-string bench warmer. Prior to high school, I played soccer, so I figured I would just go out for the football team and be the kicker. My team already had a kicker, so instead of kicking, I did a lot of sitting. What I found out was that on Friday night, nobody really paid attention to who was playing on the field during the game versus who was just on the team keeping the bench warm. Most importantly, high school girls had no idea who actually played or not, and their opinion was all I really cared about. The real reason I joined the football team was to meet girls. Since science had shown up to that point, girls ignored soccer players. In the small town I grew up in, if you were a football player and you had a car, the chances of you becoming a parent before graduating high school rose exponentially. I wanted the full high school football experience for my son. Of course, as his father, I certainly wasn't looking for the increased teen pregnancy risk factor. Instead, I wanted him to gain the work ethic that I learned with long, hard-hitting football practices and the sense of camaraderie that is provided from being on a high-profile team sport. Unfortunately for my fatherly hopes, high school football just wasn't in the cards for my son. Football wasn't in my son's DNA. As soon as he stopped breastfeeding and learned to walk, all of his baby fat disappeared. He wouldn't grow up to be a lineman, and ultimately that was fine with me, since he wasn't the kind of kid who liked to play rough, blow snot rockets, or hit stuff. He didn't really possess the attitude for football, that attitude being of an angry disposition. Instead, he enjoyed doing things like reading, thinking about the environment, and watching Law and Order with his mom. He would never be a linebacker. Based on my son's sensitive nature and delicate tendencies, during his high school years, there were no Friday night lights at the local football field for me as a spectator. Instead, we spent our Friday nights watching documentaries about ocean mammals. Don't feel bad for me. My son earned a full ride scholarship to college on academic achievement alone, probably due to a lack of smacks to the head from playing football. Luckily for me and my love for high school football, I had a daughter who was kind enough and talented enough to become a high school cheerleader. Yes, folks, I became a cheer dad. So now I can spend my Friday nights at the football games, cheering on our school without looking like some sort of weird old man who hangs around staring at high school students. Every Friday night I put on the school colors head to toe, get my bleacher seat also in school colors, and drive out to the game. Even though I'm not on the official football coaching staff, I still get to coach as I yell loudly from the bleachers and encourage the actual coach to make better play calls and substitutions. Don't be a wuss. Go for it on fourth down. Do it for the kids. This ain't the Raiders. We aren't here to lose games. I'm sure he appreciates my input each and every game night. I have fully embraced being a cheerleader dad. I watch all the halftime routines, ensure my daughter's bow is on straight before every game, and my official job, besides yelling at the football coach, is to take my truck and drag the cheerleading trailer to all the events. I even stand up and clap when the cheerleaders say, "Come on, parent section, let's get loud." And I never critique my daughter or the squad when they cheer, "Let's go defense," when we're clearly on offense. It happens. I'm secure and I know my place in the social ladder of high school parents on Friday night. Sure, I'm one rung beneath the football player parents, but I'm one rung above those band geek parents. Go, fight, win! I enjoy my Friday nights and I still love the hard hitting action that high school football provides. My only complaint is that I have to watch from the stands. They won't let me sit on the team's bench to keep it warm. I realize now I had a great front row seat to all those games during my high school years. I certainly miss it. By the way, that school team spirit shirt I wore to every game, on the chest it said Cheer Dad. No, it was not bedazzled.
Okay, folks, it's time to pop that top and let's get to those cocktails.
Hey, and welcome to the Stories and Cocktails podcast, coming to you live on tape, roadshow from Las Vegas, Nevada, one of our favorite places on the planet to be. I'm sure I've said it many times before. I will say it again. Viva Las Vegas, man. I love Vegas.
Oh, yeah. We do. We love Vegas.
For sure. We have been doing the appropriate thing in Vegas, which is just day drinking, having a good time. We went to Meow Wolf today in Las Vegas, the Omega Mart.
Yeah. No, we're trying to do some things different this trip. Usually I'm like, get me to the strip as fast as you fucking can. Get me out of this car. I don't want to see this car again until I'm ready to load it back up.
Usually a drink in your hand while checking in to the room.
Yeah. And
which is kind of our that's our signature move.
I don't want to
I'm going to get you a drink while you're waiting to check in.
I don't want to see the car again. I don't want to get in an Uber. I don't want to get in a cab. Like, we're staying on the strip. We're walking everywhere. If we can't do it on the strip, we're not fucking doing it. That's usually how I approach Vegas. And you say, hey, I heard that there's this tiki bar. Do you want to go?
It's only 4 miles off strip.
Yeah. As soon as you say off strip, I'm like, what the fuck? Who are you talking to? I'm not doing that. But this trip,
I got you to the Golden Tiki.
Yeah, this trip I said, okay, let's do some different things. Let's try not to drink so much. And if that means like doing some other touristy shit off strip, let's do it. So today we accomplished that.
I think the sign was when we checked into, I don't remember which hotel it was, but we're rolling in with a ton of luggage because usually you pack as if we're going to be here for 30 days because you're not sure.
It was the
vibe's
Cosmo.
gonna be. And then we usually agree, this is a pro tip for Vegas people: get a case of water before you come into town.
Yeah.
And then so we're trying to check in our hotel, rolling suitcase, case of water. We are now getting drinks before we check in. It's a long line.
Not rolling suitcase, like because you're right. I come in. Like, I'm going to be here for 30 days. So it was like 3 rolling suitcases. Like, you had one. I had one for my clothes. I had one for my shoes because I never know what shoes I want to wear.
Yes.
Then I had just a bag over my shoulder with my Keurig in it because, I really am moving in because coffee is an issue. You don't get Keurigs in your coffee in your hotel rooms in Vegas. They want you to go all the way down to the casino floor to the Starbucks,
where they charge you double the price of your normal Starbucks.
Exactly. And you got to wait in line and all this shit. I want to wake up. I want to drink the coffee. So I had the Keurig, and then we had this case of water, like balancing on all of this stuff. And
as we went to check in, we didn't realize how long the line was going to be, and we had a few drinks in us at this point.
You went to go get us drinks. I was staying in line with all of the suitcases, the Keurig bag, the case of water. I think I broke into the water, kind of like loosened the plastic around the
Which
case.
I wasn't happy about because I'm like, look, these cases are set up so that when they're plastic wrapped, they hold together. And if you pop this thing and take one bottle out, you're fucking up the rigidity of this case.
Exactly.
And then, so
that's what I did.
Went to check us in, and then we drunkenly knocked over everything, and then just fucking bottles of water spilled over the floor. One of my drinks fell on the floor, and everyone in Las Vegas stopped and looked at us and said, who let these white trash motherfuckers in this Cosmo? I mean, my God. It was so embarrassing.
But okay, so that's how we usually come to Vegas. Well, I mean, but that's how we always come to Vegas, with way too much luggage, a case of water. But
drinking before we even check in room.
Right. But then we stay put. We never leave. This time I said, hey, let's do some touristy shit off strip. Let's go to Meow Wolf. I'll take you to that tiki bar that you always wanted to go to off strip.
It was so awesome. Did not disappoint.
We're doing like the museum run tomorrow. We're doing the Mob Museum. We're doing the Punk Rock Museum.
We did 7 Magic Mountains. We did the Neon Boneyard. Yeah. Totally awesome.
Do you think that it has kept us any less drunk than we normally are?
I would say yes by 7%.
By 7%?
7% less drunker than we usually are.
Okay. Well, maybe. I was thinking no. So
We're moving
far,
the needle a little bit.
a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Now I don't want people thinking that we're drinking and driving.
So what are we drinking?
We took an Uber. We took a cab.
We cabbed and Ubered, yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing club soda and cherry vodka.
Outstanding. I'm doing a skinny Captain Kokobu Diet Coke with Malibu rum and Captain Morgan's. It's delicious, getting a little caffeine for a non-caffeinated guy. And I want to talk about Meow Wolf.
Well, yeah, I was going to say the funny thing about all of this is it's like, hey, let's drink less. Let's be healthier and drink less. And you're like, great. Where are the weed gummies? I'm going to get high before we go to Meow Wolf.
Well, I felt an obligation because I went to Meow Wolf in Denver.
Yes, I was with you.
When I was still a higher patrol officer, so I didn't get high, and because I couldn't, and I walked through it, and I was like, "This is really neat and it's fantastic, but I don't think it's for me. Like, I don't think I'm getting most what's happening here because I didn't take any drugs."
It's not like it wasn't for you. You were like, I feel like I'm missing a certain.
There's a dimension
aspect,
that I'm
a dimension,
missing.
yeah.
A seventh dimension I'm missing.
Right.
So today I'm like, let's go to Omega Mart, another Meow Wolf, one of many in the United States, Santa Fe, Texas, Colorado, California. No, Nevada, sorry. So I'm like super excited. So I'm like, I'm going to take a gummy. Take 5 milligrams, perfect amount. Absolutely loved it. Totally trippy. Awesome. I thought it was fantastic. I was into the whole vibe there. It was great.
So, since you've retired and since we've been like, fuck it, we're retired. We have no obligations. Let's try weed. Like,
Yeah.
everybody's doing
it.
it.
The show's called Stories and Cocktails, but this one's, for me, it's stories and cannabis.
Right.
And cocktails.
So I've also kind of tried some gummies with you, but you and we like it like way differently. Like I just want to take a half. I want to just snack a little bit, and then I want to go right to bed. I don't want to talk to people. I don't want to be in public. I don't want to be in like public spaces. I don't want to be trippy. You know, like one time I took a whole gummy and I was just like, this is too much for me. I don't like it. You were like, put me in Meow Wolf, show me the neon, show me the lights. And you, even in Denver, you're like, man, I just don't think that we're getting this. I'm like, I don't know. I thought it was pretty cool. Like, dead sober, I thought it was really cool. I don't see the need to be high. But then today, you're high and you're like wandering around. I'm like, I'm going to lose this motherfucker. Your pupils are all dilated.
I was crawling through every tunnel, hole,
your face,
opening doors.
Your face looked, you're like, I'm so chill. I'm like, your face looks a little slack. Like you're high. And so I'm kind of judging you. Like, I'm like, come on, motherfucker, let's go. Like, how long do we need to stare at these strobe lights? But you're turning around now, like, and you're judging me. And you're just like, you're not experiencing the 12th
You don't
dimension.
get it.
You don't get it. You're like, we in Denver, we were schmucks. We didn't know what we were missing. And now
No, Meow Wolf is for people who are on
get
drugs.
it, and
Take
you don't
drugs
get it.
and go to Meow Wolf.
So then you kind of got like all smug and you don't get it.
Well, it's called in group, out group, and you were out.
I was out. Well, and then
Because you were the only person in that motherfucker who was sober.
and don't get me wrong, I really, really, really enjoyed it. Like, you think that I didn't. You're judging my level.
I'm not judging. I'm like, I think you're missing a little bit of this.
But
There's a thing happening here.
I truly enjoyed it. I think it's spectacular. Like, the artwork is just amazing, the creativity. So I'm looking at all of that and I'm just like, wow, this is so cool. Like who thinks of this? You know, who can think of
People
how to
who
do
are on
this?
drugs.
But then it was me who kind of wussed out and was like, oh, okay, I've had my fun with bright lights and neon. I need like sober or I need natural light. Like, please take me back out into the natural light. And that's when you really were just like, oh God. And you're looking at other people and you're just like, who fucking brought her? I think she's sober. You know, like, you're like, chill out, girl. Take some weed gummies.
When we got in there, we went into the first room, and I was like, holy shit, this is so great. It was like white ferns with all this like crazy light on it. And there was like this rock you would sit on. And then I kind of went to sit on the rock, and then I fell back, and the rock was like a big cushion. And I just started laughing hysterically. I'm like, oh my God, this rock is soft. And I looked at you, and you're like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I might have to drag this stoner through this whole exhibit.
Yeah. No, that happened.
No, I didn't listen. When you're
accurate.
when you're high, I'm catching all those vibes. Like, I was seeing your aura. I'm like, this chick hates me right now.
No,
She fucking
no.
hates me.
No, I didn't hate you. I just was like, I thought we were going to move through this at a certain pace, and it turns out we're going to be at a little bit different pace.
Because I was sitting there, I'm like, oh man, like just sit here for a minute. There's some music and this light, and you're like, yeah, I know. There's music and a strobe light. I'm like, no, but just chill here for a second. Like the walls are kind of pulsating, and this light's gonna change color. You're like, yeah, it's gonna change color. It's gonna go green to red, and then blue, and then gray, purple. Let's go. I saw it. I'm like, no, man, I think you're missing out. You're like, it's a strobe light, it changes color. Let's go. What's the next room have in it? I'm like, more strobe lights and colors.
Well, but that's what you were doing. You're missing out. I'm like, no, I'm not. I processed all of this. See, my processing time is normal. I processed all this shit. It goes red, it goes blue, it goes green. Like I can sing the electronica music tune now. We've been here. Let's go. And
One of my best moments was when you went to the bathroom for a really long time, and I was like, great. And I just chilled. I was like, this is so nice. Don't you have to go piss again for half an hour?
so, speaking of weed, we're staying at Resorts World. We frequent this one. We like this one a lot. It's a Hilton, and we like Hiltons. I mean, do we like Hiltons, or am I just?
Well, I mean, I don't want to brag, but you are a Diamond member.
Well, that's what I
and
was
you
gonna
get
say.
your own parking spot.
I'm obligated to the brand because I love my loyalty rewards programs. Like as soon as they're like, hey, you're a member, I'm like, oh, you've got me.
Well, you get your special line. You don't have to wait in line.
Yeah.
You get your free waters.
Yeah. So, but
membership has its privileges, and you really love those privileges.
But what I was gonna say is, usually as a Diamond member, you get your parking space. You don't have to wait in line, and they upgrade you for free. They go, oh, you're a Diamond member. Let's see.
Ooh, you're fancy.
Let's see what rooms we have available for you. Here today, I'm looking now. That's why I say, speaking of weed, Las Vegas, everywhere you look, it's a view. Like the shitty view is like, oh, I can see the Strat. Like, I wish I could see the other end of the Strip. Like, that's
I want to see the Bellagio fountain.
Yeah. Or, oh, I can see the mountains. Like, that's like the shitty view. No, this is the shitty view. We can see the cannabis store. That's it. Thrive, the cannabis store. That's our entire.
It's been calling to me ever since we got here.
And a parking lot.
I'm like, I already have gummies, but I want to go down to Thrive and see what they got.
But that's because that's the only view we have is the parking lot and the cannabis store.
Yeah.
So we didn't really get the Diamond love this particular.
We generally don't in Vegas because we're not big enough ballers.
Yeah, no, in Vegas, it being
They're like, didn't you guys move into an apartment and start a podcast? I don't think you have the money to be really romping around Vegas.
They don't give a shit about your Hilton Diamond.
Dude, I couldn't even get a fucking comp drink at a goddamn video poker last night at this place.
They're like, how much do you gamble? And I'm like, well, here's my rewards card. And they're like, ma'am, last time you were in Vegas, it looks like you were here for 6 days and you played $62.75 in video poker, probably trying to score free drinks. And I'm like, yes. How many points do I have? And they're like, you have none. You are worthless.
Do I get to see the Michael Jackson show for free? No? Shit.
How much do I have to fucking gamble to get to see a free show around here? They're just like, get out of our face. You're not worth our fucking
We won't
time.
even give you the fucking like zombie burlesque X show at Flamingo. Like, you're not going to get shit.
You don't get anything.
You don't get anything.
Yeah,
Exactly.
they are. They're just get out.
Best I can do is walk down the strip. The Bellagio fountains are going every 15 minutes.
Yeah. And I go, yeah, but I'm a Diamond member of Hilton. They're like, oh, do you stay in a lot of Hiltons? Do you fucking gamble? Get the fuck out of here. Like, no, if you're not gambling, you're worth fucking nothing. Go stay in a Hilton in Fresno, California. Stop wasting our time.
I gamble with my fucking life every time I get into a Las Vegas Uber. I can tell you that right now. I can definitely gamble.
But then I say, ha ha ha, joke's on you. There's no nice Hiltons in Fresno.
Wah, wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
All right, let's talk about the story.
Okay.
Story today is called Friday Night Lights, published in Santa Maria Sun on September 21, 2016. A story about high school football glory days. And that obviously is a lot of sarcasm on my part because I don't really have any high school football glory.
Yeah, no, I was going to say there's no glory.
Yeah, because I was a bench warmer, but
only shame.
I still loved to wear the uniform.
Only shame, third
throw
string.
on the pads,
I'm gonna
go out.
I'm going to start calling you third string. That's
I was
your
definitely
new
third string.
nickname.
I was small for my age.
Small for your age. Oh, did you grow into your height?
I was a September birthday. You know what I'm saying? I was young.
Yeah.
And I was a terrible football player. Luckily for me, they didn't cut anybody and they let me, wear the uniform. I was number 8. And vintage high crusher. Fucking joke. And but loved to be out there. It was part of the Americana, part of that history of our nation to go out on Friday nights and warm up and and be part of the football team, get all fired up and not play the game.
Yeah, no, this little monologue that you're spewing right now, like, just, hey, listeners, just so you know, he shares this with me about every 3 days. He's like, back when I was a high school football player and as a part of Americana, and, like, and we're watching freaking TV shows, fictional fucking TV shows about fictional towns in Texas. And, everyone's in the diner and they've got their high school football championship rings. And you're telling me that's exactly what it's like. And I'm like, no, it's not. I've been to Napa a handful of fucking times. I've been to all the diners. It's not like that. There's not just, and you don't have a championship ring. I don't know if any vintage high school football player alumnus ever
Anyone does.
has a high school football championship ring.
No, we do not. That's De La Salle down the street.
But you have romanticized the oh my God. And De La Salle, we watched that movie.
Yeah.
So De La Salle, they have that true story fucking movie. Even as we're watching that movie, you're just like, oh yeah, I recognize that guy's name. I played against him. And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking? You're like, no, this is based on a true story. This was like the early 90s, just like me. I played against that team. That actor is portraying a guy that I played against. I'm like, oh, did you actually play or did you sit on the bench while other members of your team
Actually,
played?
that's all not even true. I played as a third string bench warmer on Vintage High School, who also had Napa High School on the calendar. And Napa High School players played De La Salle their first game every season, which they lost every year because they never had an undefeated season. So when I'm like, I'm familiar with De La Salle, I'm like, because the team across the street in my town, they played them. So I heard about it.
But I'm just saying.
I'm like, 6 degrees of separation. I was there, man.
But this is the shit that I've had to hear all this. And then you tell me, like, oh my God, you're always talking about high school. And I'm just like, oh, really? How about you in your high school football glory days?
My high school football glory days.
Yeah. So you thought.
Well, yeah. So the point of this whole story was
that we were going to have this football player kid.
Because I loved high school football so much and I wasn't, really involved in it. I wanted to continue to be, I coached junior high football for a while. I wanted to be part of football. So when we had this kid, this massive fat kid, I was like, all right, here we go. I'm going to be it from Pop Warner through pros, at least college. You know what I mean?
So Fresno State, it spits out its fair share of NFL players.
Yeah.
Right? Currently, we got Derek Carr, we got Devontae Adams. I mean, those are the Fresno State kids. In the past, David Carr, Trent Dilfer. Like, I'm not saying that every person who runs through Fresno State gets to the NFL, but you get a few NFL
We're
players.
a nationally ranked football team.
You also got, and he didn't play in the NFL, but he was Fresno famous. You got Vince Wesson. And so he was just this Fresno State phenom. And then he graduated from Fresno State, didn't get signed to the NFL, but he was a local legend. He got into education. So he was a coach at my elementary school. He was a coach at my junior high. He was a coach at my high school. So now I have Gus in a stroller. Gus is like 18 months.
He's already bigger than the stroller.
Fat. Bigger than the stroller.
He basically would out age everything that we bought from him.
Oh,
Strollers, car seats, clothes.
He
was so fucking big. He was like a Samoan kid. I'm like, only reason I didn't have you get a blood test to make sure that, it was actually my kid that you trapped me to have, because he looked like me. Like, he had my face. I'm like, fuck, this is definitely my kid. I'm going to pay child support.
He had the body.
But he was huge.
He had the body of a sumo wrestler, like, at 18 months old, and then he had your face on just squished into this fat head.
Yeah.
So I take the stroller out to the junior high school football game because my brother's playing. Because there's football in my family too, right? So, I mean, the genetics are there. It seems like.
It's coming.
I roll the stroller out. Coach Wesson, he stops coaching the game. He just sees this 18-month-old in a stroller. He comes over.
You got to recruit him young in Clovis.
Oh, yeah. He comes over. He grabs him out of the stroller, just picks him up. He's just like, I'm going to just pick up your baby. And then he's just like, holy moly, because he's a middle school coach, so he didn't say holy shit. Holy moly, we don't have a helmet big enough to fit this head. Like, this kid, he's going to be an NFL
and I was
player.
Like, hell yeah.
Yeah, we don't have, and I'm like, oh, he's only 18 months old, and he's already.
You just wait. And he's breastfed and American.
Yeah, he's He's already outsized the middle school helmets, dude.
Exactly.
This kid.
You should see the turds this kid lays. This kid's gonna fucking be a badass football
Now,
player.
the unfortunate thing is as the coach is looking at this like future football prodigy from the stroller, he's looking at me and he's just like, "Hey, Sarah," he's like, "Who is this guy's daddy?" And I'm like, Coach Wesson, let me introduce you to Rob. He's standing right next to me. And he's like, oh, like, so this is the guy raising this baby, but this isn't.
This isn't the actual sperm donor.
Yeah. He's like, and I'm like, yeah, no, like he's 5'8",
And 3/4.
5'9" on a good day. And a good day is a day that he lies. Yeah. And so that's when Wesson was like, I think this baby has a weight problem. And he just put him back in the stroller.
He's like, oh shit, no scholarship for you, son.
Yeah, he's like.
Turns out he was right.
Yeah, it's like
Gus started to learn how to run and cardio dropped it all off.
I mean, Wes, to his credit, like he was a coach extraordinaire because he knew something that we didn't know. Like we were still hopeful. We're like, no, like the height could come from somewhere. We don't know where, but give him a few years. Like he'll stretch. Like he'll grow into this.
We'll
baby
start him
fat
a year
and he'll-
late.
Like I'm like, his head's too big for all the helmets. Remember? And yeah, Coach Wesson was just like, look, I have got a real game to coach. I got 7th graders that need to play. Like it was nice to see you, Sarah. You go sit over there with the spectators. Take your short ass 3rd string fucking husband from Napa, and he's just like, who is Napa even known for football? Fucking anyways, you know. And I'm like, well, I heard they're down the street from De La Salle.
I heard the other team plays De La Salle first game of the season.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, De La Salle's undefeated every year, so that team sucks. Yeah, that's right.
So that's when I had to say to little baby Gus. I said,
Yeah.
you know what? No worries, baby Gus.
So my
You're
high
gonna be a
school
swimmer."
football dreams were crushed. I was like, damn, man. And then, like, it just kept coming, the hits. It was like, okay, he doesn't have the size, doesn't have the interests. Now he's very concerned about the environment. Like, this kid's not going to
but he
play
did.
football.
He followed me and he got into aquatics. He was
Yeah.
a swimmer and a water polo player. But the funny thing is like you want him to be a football player. He didn't even really enjoy water polo because it was too physical. He's like if water polo is too physical, there's no way in
Gus
hell
is a sensitive soul.
he was gonna play football. So he did water polo.
Yeah.
Usually,
There's definitely no me standing on the side of the pool deck going, kick his ass, Seabass. Like, it just wasn't going to happen.
usually water polo players will swim reluctantly to stay in shape for polo. Gus was the opposite. He was like, well, I guess I got to stay in shape for swimming. So
Polo
fuck
is
it.
just
I'll
ruining my
do-
whole swim stroke.
I'll do water
Yeah.
polo. Yeah, exactly. But you got a cheerleader.
I got a second lease on life, and I got to be back in high school football.
With
but
a
I was a
cheerleader.
cheer dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
But typically how I do things is I was all in, like, right away. I'm like, okay, man, I'll pull the trailer. I'll wear the shit. Like, I'll cheer. I'll be all about it. And then I got to enjoy the games. So it was still fun for me to watch the games every Friday night.
yeah, no, Friday night lights with cheer was super fun.
Yeah, I miss it. It was super fun. It was our Friday nights for a long time. It was totally grad. High school football was a good time.
Yeah, it's as soon as she was done with football, with high school football. That's when I was like, okay, like we've sat next to each other for 4 years every weekend through the fall, and we watched football. We cheered on this high school team. Now it's over. She's our baby. We're done. Like we don't have any more swim meets to go to. We don't have football games to go to. We don't have cheer competitions to go to. That's when I was like, I guess we're going to become professional sports fans.
Yes, and unfortunately for us, that's when Derek Carr, who did a great job at Fresno State, was signed to the Raiders. We're like, well, we'll just become Raiders fans. And then that's why we're in Vegas. We're going to catch the Raiders.
I don't know
this
why
week.
you say it's unfortunate for us. I love being a Raiders fan.
Well, I am too, but I like to
God,
root for things that win.
you
The
are.
fucking Raiders don't win.
I'm going to throw you out of the nation. I really
Nah,
am.
fuck that. Here's the thing about the Raider Nation is that we make dumb mistakes. Like, I don't mind, like, hey, we just lost a game, or like we just, like, get penalties, or don't understand how the game clock works, or just don't know how to understand run good plays,
I
or
don't
we
think
keep
you're a
firing our
true fan.
coaches. No, I am a true fan because I care about the nation. I care so much it hurts my soul every time we make a stupid fucking decision.
Well, then your soul's really
Because
hurt.
me, it is. It's hurt all the time. Because me, I like to be part of, professional organizations. I was part of the California Highway Patrol. It's a very professional organization for 25 years. I run this racing team. It has all these championships. Like, I'm just like, I know how to win. And then I'm a Raiders fan. I'm like, we fucking don't win. I know we did in the 70s, but I was a fucking toddler. I don't remember that shit.
So as much as you wanted our son to be a football player,
Yes.
that's how much I did not want our daughter to be a cheerleader.
True. It was tough for you to be a cheer mom.
Yeah, like okay, so you write the stories. So you wrote all about how you were in high school and you love football. I was in high school, and I was just raging against the patriarchy. Like I just
Yeah.
and I was
Why do we even have cheerleaders to
exactly
root on these boys? Like she's some sort of trophy. If he scores a touchdown, that he gets to take her virginity. What's fucking wrong with this picture?
And the cheerleaders used to come out, and I look at it differently now. Like I think how nice of them they would come out and they would be the timers at the swim meet. And I think like thank you. We needed someone to be the timers at the swim meet. Like someone had to clock how fast I was swimming and how bad, like how much I was beating the other girls by. So I look back now
That
and
seemed like a little humble brag.
and
right
I
there.
see. Did it come off as humble?
Yes.
I was very fast. Anyways, I look.
Division I collegiate swimming.
I look back now and I think like that was very nice that they came out and they supported and how great and it just this whole school community thing. But back then I was just like, oh, here we are just putting women to work. And I'm getting out of the pool and they're timing me and they're nice, and they're just like, hey, good job, Sarah. And I'm just like, hey, you can be a fucking athlete too. You don't have to sit here, and look pretty and be a timer. And they're just like, hey, bitch, we are athletes. And I'm like, psh, I don't know what kind of athlete, wears fucking glitter makeup, like whatever.
Damn, you were rough on these
No,
girls.
I
You
know.
were rough.
I know. And so that's why I say like, that's how I was in high school. I was just like,
An elitist
cheer.
bitch.
Cheer is part of the patriarchy. It's just keeping women in their place. So then Addie is like in middle school and she's like, I want to go out for cheer. And I was trying to make her a swimmer too. And I'm like, well, how is that going to fit in with swim practice? And she's like, I fucking hate swimming. I don't want to go to swim. I want to get into cheer so that I don't have to go to swim practice. And I'm just like, what? I don't understand.
Are you my daughter?
Are you my daughter? Yeah, I'm calling the hospital. I'm like, I think there's been a mistake.
Yep.
Is there another girl running around who was born on July 24th?
Is she pretty fast at swimming?
Who's a swimmer? But then she got into cheer, and I realized how wrong I was, and what an amazing.
There are more injuries
athlete she
in
was.
cheer every year
Yeah.
than there is in football.
And I watched
currently.
her lift human beings, and yeah. Now, I still raged against the patriarchy, though. I still was like, hey, these girls aren't just here to support you. Like, they serve a purpose, and you need to support them back. And, hey, football team, you need to be grateful for what they do. They get this crowd going.
Look at her dad up in the stands, just cheering his ass
Yeah.
off with a bedazzled T-shirt.
But that's why I loved comped cheer. So yes, Friday Night Lights were super fun when she was on the sidelines cheering for the boys. Just a part of the patriarchy. But comp cheer is when they got to go, and it was all
went to
about
Anaheim,
them.
won the national championship.
And they were the athletes, and it was truly
awesome.
phenomenal. Yeah,
Loved it.
Yeah,
And I got to root for her boyfriend. She had a boyfriend who played high school football.
yeah.
So I got to be like, at least rooting for one guy on the team. So, and she introduced me to him. She's like, I met this boy. I'm like, oh, okay. He plays football. All right. What's his name? It's Johnny Mayberry. I'm like, Johnny Mayberry?
Oh, you were like, that's a fucking football name.
I'm like, that sounds like the quarterback for the Oregon Ducks. Like, he's got long Goldilocks hair. He's just like this country-fed white boy just throwing fucking touchdowns. Like, I can vision it in my mind. Like, bring Johnny Mayberry to my house. Like, I want to have lemonade with him and talk about West Coast offense. Like, this is going to be great. You know what I mean? Is he the quarterback? So then Johnny Mayberry comes to the house, and I open the door, and there was like this 6-foot black guy there. I'm like, holy smokes, Johnny. Wow. Wow. Holy Jew. Wow. Okay.
You're not what I expected.
Yeah. And he's like, is Addie here? I'm like, she is. Hold, let me get her. And she's like, this is Johnny. I'm like, okay, awesome. What do you play, Johnny? He's like, I play every fucking position that crushes white boys. I'm like, okay. So that would be defense? He's like, I do it on offense too. I'm like, okay, fucking great. Let's check it out. So then I got to be Johnny's biggest fan, and I watched him go through the fucking O-line and give white boys CTE in high school football over and over again. I watched him just fucking crush men.
Yeah,
I loved him. He was awesome.
He's not what you had originally envisioned with the name Johnny Mayberry.
It sounded like a quarterback.
And
Turns out he was a defensive lineman,
but no, he did.
inside linebacker.
He and Addie started dating Addie's junior year, I believe. And so for 2 years, we got to be like quasi football. At least we knew a football player. Like we were there for cheer, but we could look beyond the cheerleaders and we could actually cheer for the football team or just root on the football players. But we had like a player whose name we knew.
Yeah, and I'm out there like
whose
Karate Kid. I'm
number
like,
we knew.
fucking get him, Johnny.
Well, yeah.
Sweep the leg, Johnny. I was just so loud in those stands, man.
You really, as soon as you knew a kid's name that you could like loudly root for, you were just like his biggest fan. And
I've always been a bit of a shoutcaster.
yeah.
So of any connection, I'm like, come on, coach, put Johnny in. What the fuck?
But he did. He played at like both offense and
Yeah,
defense.
he was on the field.
tackled guys.
Johnny didn't even come off the field. He just sat out there. He's like,
Yeah.
what am I doing now? Are we on the offense, defense? He's like, I'm just going to crush men.
Yeah. Oh god, and he
I
would just
loved-
get so beat up.
Love Johnny Mayberry. Kick-ass player.
Yeah. And a good boyfriend. They were
Yeah.
a really, really, really cute couple. I loved watching. You talk about Americana and and I make fun of you that you romanticize those Friday Night Lights. I romanticized this high school romance between our daughter and this football player because I'm just like, oh, it's so adorable. Like she's the cheerleader, he's the football player. And I thought it was really adorable until like the end of every game. He would come off and he would give her this big hug and it was super cute, but he was like so sweaty. I was just like, oh my God. Oh, Johnny, don't touch her cheer uniform. You're so sweaty, And then Addie would say like, hey, can we give Johnny a ride home? And I'm like, in our car, like he's really,
Is he going to shower first?
yeah. Can he
He
take
smells like
all-
he played every down of every
Yeah.
play in this game.
He needs to take all of that football gear off and she's like, well, of course he's not going to wear his fucking football pads home, Mom. I'm like, okay, well, let's put it in the trunk. Any other time I love driving them around and Johnny smelled great, but after football it was just like, ooh.
Well, your swimming sport, nobody really smelled. You guys were always in the water, so you understand what it's like to get
Yeah.
stinky.
And again, as much as I say that I like made fun of the cheerleaders in high school, the football players would finish practice, the same time that we would finish practice. So we would all be like running to the locker room at the same time. And I would be running to the locker room just smelling of chlorine and cleanliness. And the football team would run by me. And, and middle school boys, this was in middle school and then again in high school and high school boys, like they're not the most clean bunch. And I would just be gagging. Yeah, and Fresno is hot.
They just smelled like a 110 degree
Hot.
wet fart.
Yes. And just, yeah. And so then with that, then I was like, hey, you know what I want to do for a career is I want to lock myself in a room with 30 smelly adolescents every single day and 110 degree heat. And that's what I want to do.
All right, well, glad that's over. Now you're retired. Let's raise a glass to Friday Night Lights. We had a great time. I do miss it. Hopefully my grandchildren, maybe there's a chance that I can get another
Again,
high school football or
where's the height going to come from?
I don't know.
They seem to be
I was hoping it was coming from your side of the family. When I married you, you were a Division I swimmer. I thought I was going to get something from your family.
They seem to be they get shorter. I mean, you're 5'9" on a good day. I'm 5'7" on a good day. And Gus is 5'7.5" on a good day. And then I don't even know if Addie tops 5 foot.
Boy, poor things.
I know.
That's why we race cars with the Critters.
We had a chance back in high school when Addie was dating Johnny. He was like 6 foot something. And,
Right. There was my friggin' grandson.
225 pounds.
But Addie went and broke his heart.
Yeah. I mean, that was like, if we could have just got her to just marry her high school boyfriend, we could be grandparents to like a little, what do they call, like the little Pee Wee League right now. Pop Warner. Yeah. And Coach Wesson, rest in peace. Like he would have seen that kid and he would have been like, okay, this kid has a chance at some height and some fucking football playing. But
I mean, is it asking too much that I get to go to the NFL fucking draft and see a jersey with the fucking last name Kreider on it? I mean, I don't think I'm asking too much.
No.
That's all I want.
We
For
fucked
fuck's
up.
sake.
We should have made our daughter marry her high school football boyfriend. Because
Exactly.
those marriages
You will marry him.
are successful.
And your dad
for
wants
sure.
to go to the NFL draft, goddammit.
We were just way, way too lax. We were
know.
just like, oh, you're sleeping with your boyfriend. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Keep it casual.
We respect your choices. We should have just been like, no, you're fucking married. You're betrothed now.
We did get to see Johnny play against Bakersfield in a championship game, and I think he tackled Jordan Love, who's now the quarterback of the fucking Green Bay Packers. So that's pretty crazy.
That was not okay. Now, and I know we were trying to wrap it up, but when you say like we were cheer parents extraordinaire, that happened. Now, you didn't actually say that. I'm saying that we were cheer parents extraordinaire. You're driving the trailer, and we're going to every game. So that was the championship game. So it was late in the season. It actually happened during Thanksgiving break.
Yep.
So it was Thanksgiving break. We went down to Long Beach for Thanksgiving to have Thanksgiving with Gus because he was at Long
Which we
Beach
had
State.
at a Hooters because nothing else was open.
Yeah, and because I was like, I'm on vacation. I'm in a rented Long Beach house. I don't want to cook a turkey. So yes, we ended up at Hooters. But in the middle of that vacation, we had to drive to Bakersfield so she could cheer for the championship game. And I think we had Johnny with us in there too. Like, I don't know if he was there with us for Thanksgiving, but
We had to get back early to take a practice and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And so we drove to Bakersfield, and it was so fucking cold. And I decided, like the mom, I decided from Long Beach to Bakersfield, and I'm looking and I'm like, oh my God, it's going to be 52 degrees outside. These girls are going to cheer in 52 degrees. They're going to be way too cold. And this is where, again, like I'm raging against the patriarchy. I'm like, you've got these girls half fucking dressed and you want them in 52 degrees. Like, fuck you. So.
Well, we want to win the championship or not. We're going to see some legs.
I decided they were going to cheer in beanies. Do you remember this?
Yes. And gloves.
And beanies.
We bought it for the whole team.
Beanies and gloves. So between Long Beach and Bakersfield, we stopped at every, and it was like, it wasn't Thanksgiving Day, but it was like limited hours. Things weren't open. We stopped at every like CVS, I think. And I was just like, I need all of the navy blue beanies that you have. I need all of the navy blue gloves that you have
We got it out for the entire team.
For the championship game.
Yeah.
For the cheerleaders. And so we could get like 5.
If they didn't have fucking future NFL star Jordan Love, we would have won that fucking game.
True. And the girls were wearing beanies. And so I'm texting the coach.
Color coordinated beanies for Bullard High School.
I'm texting the coach and I'm like, hey, can the girls wear beanies? And she's texting me back and she's like, only a fucking swimmer would. No, the girls can't wear beanies. They've got to have high ponies and a bow.
Yeah,
like,
it's fucking Blue Bow, Bullard High Knights.
So then after I ask, then I'm just like, then I just come out like full on mom. I'm like, it's way too cold. It's going to be 46 degrees. These girls are not cheering unless they have beanies on. Like, I've decided for the entire squad that they need to be warm. This is for their health. I don't know. I probably like dropped in some ed code or something, some fucking bullshit like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I am buying them navy blue beanies. They'll be in school colors. They're fucking wearing them.
Well, you were a super cheer mom because you were part of the Bullard Knights, like, board of whatever.
But then we get there and the girls are like, this is fucking up my hair. This is ugly. I'm just like, nope. I had to stop at 4 different CVS's to get 32
Listen,
beanies.
honey,
for
you're
the
going to wear
entire
that
squad.
goddamn beanie.
You're going to fucking wear this if it kills you.
Exactly.
All right, now we can close it up.
All right, well, let's raise a glass to the Bullard Knights. Let's go, Knights.
Once a night, always a night.
And tonight.
Or, oh my God, yeah, and tonight.
We had a lot of night puns.
Night puns, all like Friday night, K-N-I-G-H-T.
Friday night lights with a K.
Friday night lights with a K.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, anyways,
Good
cheers.
times.
Cheers tonight with the K.
Tonight. Cheers.
Hold on, everybody. It's not last call yet. We have another story on this episode. Excuse me, ma'am. Can I get another round?
If you enjoy hearing Rob Kreider's different humor columns here on the Stories and Cocktails podcast, then I promise you will love his novel, Cadet Blues. Cadet Blues is Rob's hilarious tell-all about desperately trying to survive the shock and awe boot camp-style training at the California Highway Patrol Academy. People from all different walks of life have come to love this book because Cadet Blues is simply a crazy good read. Heartfelt, inspiring, and damn funny. It's available in paperback through Amazon, eBay, or cadetblues.com, where you can get free shipping and a personalized autographed book. Or you can download a digital copy of Cadet Blues from Amazon Kindle, Barnes & Noble Nook, or Apple iBooks. Do yourself a favor and check out the novel, Cadet Blues.
Okay, folks, we have one drink down the gullet, which means we need to get our next one on deck. Time to enjoy the second story. Bartender!
This article is titled, The Argument by Rob Kreider. Hey, that's me. 5 days before Christmas, when the house was decorated with joy and the lights on the tree were sparkling, the wife and I had a huge fight. No, it wasn't very jolly of us to have this fight, but we had it anyway, regardless of whether our yelling could be overheard by the kids or the elf on the shelf. Somehow we stumbled on a topic that pressed too many emotional buttons inside of each of us, and quickly all reason and kindness was lost. We just had it out. Christmas be damned. During our nearly 2 decades-long marriage, my wife and I haven't had very many fights like this one. We generally get along very well. Usually when we disagree, which isn't that often, we quickly determine that she is right and that I'm wrong. Once that's settled and we do things her way, then we could go about our lives with smiles on our faces. This arrangement has worked for a long, long time. But on this particular day, 5 days before Santa was to arrive at our residence and bring presents and joy, I forgot my place in the argument arena and uncharacteristically refused to back down. This resulted in instant conflict. This little disagreement began when I informed my wife, whom I love, that I'd be doing some Christmas shopping to buy her some gifts. This would be my annual way of showing her love and affection by getting her stuff that she likes. Unbeknownst to me at the time, and it is very clear to me now, when I informed my bride that I'd be going shopping 5 days before Christmas, I hurt her feelings. You see, if I truly loved her, I would have purchased all of my gifts at least 7 days before Christmas. By waiting until 5 days before Christmas, I was showing a lack of caring or love of any kind. Essentially, I was nothing more than Grinch dung. Now, I'd like to point out this small technicality. She would not receive these gifts until December 25th, regardless if I purchased them on December 20th, December 18th, or June 12th. But the lack of proper planning on my part showed total disregard for her feelings. So you may ask, why did I inform her I would be doing some last-minute shopping 5 whole days prior to Christmas? If I'd kept my big dumb mouth shut, she wouldn't have known. She would have opened her presents on the big day and been none the wiser. Great question. I've been asking myself that one ever since the fight. Here's the reason. My wife is a custodian of the bank account. She keeps track of all of the money. So when I was informing her that I'd be going shopping, I was looking to see how much money we had so I could buy her lots of trinkets and display my love. But because we were 5 days away from Christmas, she'd already purchased lots of stuff for our kids and extended family, which meant we were short on money. She hadn't budgeted for me to do some shopping for her. To understand how this fight escalated, here is a very important note about my wife. She is a very kind and giving person who loves Christmas. She spends a lot of time and puts in a ton of thought and spares no expense in getting the perfect gift for everyone in our family. And I mean everyone in our family. That nephew we see every 3 years or so? Yep, he'll be getting a brand new Star Wars Force Awakens special edition gift. This amount of kindness from her often results in our bank account being drained. Drained to the point where I hope Santa fills my stocking with some rolls of toilet paper so we can get through the rest of the month. Since there was an obvious lack of funds in our bank account, I decided to pull off a miracle and save Christmas by finding an alternate source of funding so I could still buy my wife something nice 5 days before she would open it. I have a business savings account for my novel, Cadet Blues. When all the books and inventory sell out, I use the account to print more books and keep the self-publishing machine going. I like to keep the account in an amount where I can quickly order 500 more books when demand requires it. I had access to the money, so I figured the problem was solved and I could repay the account later and keep things flush for Cadet Blues. Here's the big but. There's always a but when there's a fight, and that but was me. I made a huge miscalculation when I was telling my wife 2 things she didn't want to hear during the holidays. 1, I was going shopping for her just 5 days before Christmas. And 2, I informed her I would need to pay back my account later after buying her gifts. By doing this, I made her feel as if I didn't care enough about her to shop ahead of time. I didn't care enough about her to spend money on her from the business. In her eyes, I was being cheap. I might as well have spit in her face. I showed total disregard for her and her feelings. Essentially, I had just crapped on all of womankind in the entire universe. My wife was upset, understandably. She doesn't care about gifts. What she wants is to know that I love her. Like love her enough not to wait until 5 days before Christmas. She's a girl and thus her feelings were crushed. But during the fight, I couldn't understand why. I'm a man and I rarely have feelings. Therefore, I don't understand them. It didn't make sense to me why she was upset as long as there would be a nice present under the tree on Christmas morning, which I have always come through with during years of the past. Throughout the argument, I tried to reason with her while yelling at the top of my lungs. Was I supposed to embezzle money from our household bank account in August and lie to you about it and hide it from you so you didn't spend it on everyone else in December just to make sure I had some money to buy you a present? With tears in her eyes, she said, "Yes, that would have been really thoughtful." By the way, lesson learned, I'm getting way ahead of things now. I'm currently shopping for Valentine's Day 2030.
Okay, patrons, you've been to this bar before. You know it's cocktail hour again. Are we doing shots or what?
Hey, welcome to Stories and Cocktails, coming to you live on tape. We're in Sacramento, California. We've just enjoyed some free drinks. We like our free happy hour drinks here at the Embassy Suites in Sacramento, right by the river. So what free drink did you get?
Oh man, I'm not drinking my free drink anymore. I'm drinking the drink I made, and I put a little rum floater right on the top, and the rum is floating right on the top.
Smacked you right in the face.
That smacked me right in the face.
I had a similar experience. I had what I was trying to get, just a spiced rum and Diet Coke, but ultimately she's like, "We don't have that." And then it's like, "Okay, well, I'll take this then." And she's like, "You want pineapple?" I'm like, "Yeah." Then she made me just pineapple and rum. And then she's like, "What do you want?" And you're like, "I'd like rum and Diet Coke." She's like, "No problem." And just like made you a rum and Diet Coke. I'm like, that's what I wanted.
No, but you're ordering
Well,
challenge.
I'm bad at ordering,
So
yes.
you didn't say that.
I will always acquiesce to that's probably the case.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at ordering
Because
stuff.
I saw her like pouring
Communicating.
the pineapple in, and I'm like, pineapple was never said, but I'm like, but I also am unclear on what this fucker said. There is a line 20 people deep behind him. You're just trying to do your job. You're just like, you're looking at him and you're like, yeah, motherfucker, you're just going to drink well rum and pineapple juice and you're going to get the fuck out of the way. And then I was like, rum and Diet Coke. And she's like, I got you.
So will give us props. We did get in line first.
Yep.
We got there about 3.5 minutes early, which turned out to be about 9 minutes early because they started late. But the line behind us got absolutely out of control.
Oh, who
And
knew?
So we really crushed it by being the people that were there first.
Oh, who knew?
And then we
that
also
managers reception on Sunday nights, and managers reception is the actual real name
The
for the
official
free
term.
the free cocktail. I just call it free cocktail hour, but tonight I was taught it's the managers reception. Anyways, who knew how the managers reception on a Sunday night? You'd
Does
think
it say
everyone.
like, "Welcome, Karen"? This is the manager's
Yeah.
reception.
I just feel like on a Sunday, like, isn't everyone just checking out and going back home? But no, dude, like it was just like everyone was checking in and they were all going to the manager's reception. It was insane.
Yeah. So it's Memorial Day weekend, so more people are here on a Sunday night than normally.
But why would you check in on Sunday? Memorial weekend started Friday night, dude.
That's a good question. But there's a lot of people here.
Mystery.
And those people wanted their free drink, and they wanted their free chips, and they wanted their free cheese.
Yeah.
There's a certain thing about the human condition that people want their free shit, and they feel very, very, very much entitled to that free shit. Like I've said, it's the t-shirt gun theory, right? Like you want to see a crowd of people lose their fucking minds, pull out a t-shirt gun and shoot to them a $4.50 t-shirt with something they'll never wear and want on it. They will knock your 6-year-old son over and smash his brains in the fucking baseball stadium just to grab that free t-shirt. So similar today with the free drinks.
I both agree and disagree with you at the same time.
Agree and disagree.
Is there a word for that? There should be a word for that.
It's
Neutral?
called marriage.
I agree with you that no one wears the t-shirt gun shot out of, or no one wears the free t-shirt shot out of the t-shirt gun, except where I disagree is that there is one person who wears it. Who is that?
You.
Me.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. If you give
I never said they'll never wear. I guess maybe I did say they won't wear it.
Yeah, you said no one
I was
wears
just talking
it.
about the
And I was
ridiculous,
like,
how hard they work for something they don't really care to have.
but you did say you went like all hyperbolic and you're like, no one wears those. And I was like, 100% of the people that you were looking at right now, like, cause you're looking at me, one out
I
of
am
one
looking at you.
is 100%. I will wear the fucking free shirt every
For sure.
single time.
You and I also ate all the free chips and all the free cheese and all the free drinks
Oh,
tonight.
yeah, I am so full on the manager's
I'm just like,
reception snack
God,
dinner.
the manager just killed me with that cheese. And then you're like, "What are you drinking?" Like, I'm like, "Well, I didn't really get a mixer." She said it had pineapple in it. It does have like an kind of an orange.
You're just
yellow
drinking
hue.
like yellow rum.
I just have rum. What do you drink? Rum.
Rum.
Just drinking fucking rum. Like I said, I don't know why they use the term well. There's nothing well about it. It's fucking terrible.
I drank it with Diet Coke. So you're still drinking your free manager's reception drink.
I'm still nursing.
You're
this
still
thing.
nursing it.
Might as well just put a fucking nipple on this thing.
I drank my down.
Suck on it.
I came back up to the room. I made my own cocktail. I put a rum floater on it, and whew, that rum is floating
Well,
at the top.
if you want to blame the bartender, you have to blame yourself now.
I do. Okay, so Mr. Kreider, what story are we doing?
Oh,
today?
okay. Well, so we got to get right into business here. All right, the story tonight is called The Argument, published December 29th, 2015, Santa Maria Sun. It's a story I didn't really remember, but once we read it, it all started kind of coming back to us rapidly. And essentially, I assume that during this episode, we'll have the same argument we had that day
Well,
about this whole thing and how it went down.
I think, and it's funny because lately I feel like the stories we've been doing lately, you've been like the title sucks, the title sucks, the title sucks. So it's kind of funny that now what I'm going to say is my favorite thing about this story is the title. I like that the title is The Argument, as if like we've only had one. You know what I mean? Like, what argument was it? Well, it was the argument. Oh, that's right. Like, we've only had
argument,
one. It was
yeah.
the argument. Like, we never argue. We never have conflict. It's just peace and fucking harmony in the Kreider household. Always.
Sure.
And then we had the argument in December. Well, so if this was published in January of 15.
Well, it was published December 29th, 2015.
Okay, so this was
Yeah.
Christmas of 15.
Yeah.
That we had the argument. I don't
Correct.
know why I'm questioning the fucking date. Like, of course I know when it was. It was the only argument we've ever had.
Yeah. I mean, we all remember that date. Day goes in infamy.
Right. The, capital B, argument,
Capital
capital
A.
A. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of touched on that in the story that, hey, we get along pretty well and it's all good. Then we have this kind of crazy argument. And when I say crazy, because I think it does sort of like explain the male-female perception of things, or like your viewpoint of it, where I'm like, bitch, what do you care? On Christmas morning, you're going to get a fucking present from me. Who gives a fuck if I bought it for you on the 24th
Okay.
or I bought it for you in June? You're going to get a present from me.
Well, I care. And because you said it, I want to say you say it in like the third or the fourth paragraph of the story, but you were in the first paragraph of the story reading it to me now, all these years later, and I didn't remember the story, but you're reading it to me, and I just interrupted you. I'm like, and I just said like joint banking account.
It's about money.
It's about money. And then in like the third or the fourth paragraph of the story, you're like, my wife whom I love, she's the custodian of the bank account. And I want to correct that. I'm not the custodian of the bank account. I am the one who pays attention. Like, we both have access to the bank account. We're both the custodians of the bank account. It's just only one of us bothers to look at the said banking account and see what's in there. $5. And it costs $6 to keep it fucking open. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So, we used to get real broke. Like broke as fuck. So I'll give you an example. In December every year, I get paid monthly, which means we get one check a month. You have to live on 31 days. And those 31 days, months, they're hard.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Especially when there's like a
December
holiday
is
like
hard,
fucking
yeah.
Christmas in the
So,
middle of it.
we would do our thing. Luckily, on your side of the family, your mom and Nana would always give us Christmas checks.
Oh, yeah.
So essentially, we would spend our balls off to spoil the fuck out of our kids all the way up until Christmas Eve's Eve. And then essentially, we're like, if those checks don't come this year, we
Oh, yeah.
are not going to be able to eat
We would
up until New Year's
roll
or wipe
in-
our ass.
We would roll into Christmas Day and our bank account would be about $4.20. And I would know there was $31.29 pending, but I'm like, it's a holiday, so that probably won't go through. We probably won't go into the negative. I hope we don't go into the negative, but basically there's not enough money in the account to cover that last like purchase of a Barbie for Addie, to
Right.
have her best Christmas ever. And so yes, we would just be like, Merry Christmas. Oh, I love you. Like, Nana, give me the check. I gotta feed my family
Yeah.
from the 26th.
We also
the
were at
31st.
grandma's house because they fed us as well. So it's
Yeah.
like, we're going to eat here and we're going to get checks here. And thank goodness for that, because if this shit wasn't happening, we have spoiled our kids to death and we are out of money.
So Nana thought that her Christmas gift to us every year was $200. What she didn't realize is that her Christmas gift to us every single day or every single year was 6 days of eating.
Yeah. We got to live. Sustenance.
It was invaluable. It was priceless. Like, that $200 meant I could go to the grocery store on the 26th and we could get through the last 6 days of the month.
Oh, you're funny. What you did with that $200 is you called Domino's. You didn't go to the fucking grocery store. Who you kidding?
Okay, I went to Domino's on the 26th.
You didn't go. They came to us.
For about $32, and then I had another $168 to go to the grocery store.
There was a point where if we didn't order Domino's and every other day or so, we believe that the local Domino's would have done a welfare check on our safety.
Yeah.
If we'd like gone out of town for a couple of weeks, like trip to Europe, they would have said, "Hey, police department, we haven't delivered a pizza to the Kreider house. Probably murder suicide. The whole family's dead.
Well,
Please check it out."
the thing about Domino's is that they didn't just deliver dinner one night. They delivered dinner, breakfast the next day, lunch the next day, and if we
Leftovers.
stretched it out, even dinner the next day. So
Yeah,
they literally delivered 4 meals to our house
for $18.
for $18 and like a $3 tip.
You know, people say like, "Oh, eating out, it's so expensive, it's bad for you, whatever." I'm like, you know what? Actually, we've done the fucking math on this. You're better off to go to Domino's than to go to the goddamn grocery store.
Oh, they have that $5.99 deal. You get like unlimited amounts of medium-sized pizzas for $5.99 each, plus the brookie. Is it a brownie or is it a cookie? $5.99.
It's both, and it's fantastic.
Plus now they've added like some protein, like all protein choices. Like you can get like the chicken, like the jalapeno cheddar chicken, $6.99. You can get the breadsticks, $6.99.
Man, this
Should
is like
we?
a friggin' advertisement for Domino's.
Should we order Domino's tonight to the hotel room?
We could.
I wonder if Domino's delivers to Embassy Suites.
I'm sure they do. We've done it before.
I bet
We
they
have
do.
hacked this lots of times and ordered pizza to hotels. And every time we do it, people are like, "You can do that?" I'm like, "Yes, you fucking can."
Well, now, okay, you're talking like 10 years ago. Like now, everybody delivers to hotels. DoorDash delivers to hotels.
So this story was funny. I did at the time feel very frustrated because I was like, "Dude, what is this about, man?" I obviously get it now. You're like, "Do you love me enough to plan ahead?" I'm like, "No." I don't plan
okay.
ahead for anything. It doesn't mean I don't love you. I sound like I plan ahead for shit. You're like, "You plan ahead for fucking how to race your car." I'm like,
No,
"Well, that
but okay.
requires planning ahead."
The part that doesn't go into the story is that I already have all of the Christmas presents bought. I've got them almost all the way wrapped. I've got like the Christmas meals bought, like everything. It's 5 days before Christmas. We're rocking, I don't know, like a $21 bank balance, right? And you wake up and you're like, I got a day off. Oh, I think I'm gonna go do some shopping. We got any money in the account? And I just look at you like, are you fucking kidding me right now? Like if you have a day off, you can wrap some fucking presents. You can put that fucking big wheel together. You can put this dollhouse together. Like we have shit to do. You're gonna go shopping, and you're asking me if there's any. There's no fucking money. There's no. In what scenario, in what universe do you think we still have money? And you're just like, well, do you want fucking Christmas presents or what? And I'm just like,
Like, how important is Christmas to you?
you motherfucker. So then you say
You're
something.
a little haggard.
Yeah.
back
So
then
so this was just
about
like
it.
like 1 year. Previous years, you're like, oh, I'm waking up. Do we have any money left? And if we did have money left, I'd be like, yeah, I'm watching it like a hawk because we're getting so close. I think there's like $119. Like, don't go out and spend more than $119. And I'm watching closely. And you think that 132 rounds down to 115. So you're putting us into overdraft. And I have to watch it because you're not paying attention. So I'm looking and I'm like, oh, $34.99 to Bath and Body Works. Like, I wonder what's going to be in my fucking stocking. You know? So this was just numerous Christmases in a year, or in a row, where it's just like the last minute, all the money was gone. And then you're just like going out to the most obvious places.
Oh, we went to
And-
Macy's, so I'm getting some perfume.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and also you came home smelling like the perfume counter. So, you know.
Yeah, I would do all the testers, and I would come home and be like, "I guess I'm getting perfume." I'm like, "Well, geez,
Yeah. Oh, geez, why are you smelling me? You're ruining Christmas.
you want to just open your presents right now? What's wrong with you?"
So what's funny about this story, though, is you're talking about the Cadet Blues account. So I asked you specifically when you were reading the story, I go, wait, what year was this? And you told me, and I don't know if you like wondered, like, why is she asking me what year it was? But we sort of fixed-ish something that year. So that year it was like, okay, just, use your Cadet Blues account or use your Motorsports account. Use the accounts I don't look at so that I don't see that you bought me a bunch of shit at Bath and Body Works on the 23rd of December. Like, just use that account. I won't see it. Give me the Christmas presents. And then after Christmas, as the Canadians say, we'll settle up.
Ah, that's the difference.
So we fixed
This year you decided you weren't going to settle up.
This year I did?
No, in 2015.
Well,
In
no,
fact,
2015.
I can tell you because I have a spreadsheet
No,
for Cadet
2015
Blues
was the
that tracks
first.
all this stuff, and it still says right there, it's like deduction, Sarah's Christmas.
Okay, so 2015 was the first year that we did it. And I was just like mad at you because you waited until the last minute and it was like a shit show and we didn't have any
course.
money anyways. So 2015 was the first year that we did it, and apparently we didn't settle up.
We did
Since
not.
then, we have settled up. I
Nope.
didn't know
It's never been settled up.
that
It's
not
still in there.
we settled up 2016, 17, 18. I feel like we found a fix. I didn't know that you still have like a fucking line
I have a
in
record.
your Excel
Yeah.
spreadsheet.
I went big that year. I bought you a lot of stuff.
Oh my God. Jesus
Would you like to settle up now? I can pull it up and show you.
No.
Have you move some money over?
No, it's been 8 years already. Like let's just
What's done is done.
just keep
Well,
it
listen,
in
it's all
keep it in
good.
bold.
Don't try to take fucking credit like we settled up because we didn't.
Keep it in bold in the Excel spreadsheet. Well, we settle up now. That year, okay. I think this whole story was about like I don't think that you love me. You know what?
Obviously, I don't.
You know what I think right now? Exactly. I was just like, really? You're carrying around an 8-year grudge over a 2015
Look, it's on the balance books, man.
fucking
It's not a
Bath and
grudge. It's
Body
just a
Works
record.
purchase?
I never mentioned it. You're the one that brought it up. You're like, oh, that's no big deal. We settled up. I'm like,
No, since then.
no. When you say since then, it means you went back to
No.
the debt
means-
that is owed.
It means the
2015,
way
and you didn't.
It means the way that we figured this out, the way that I don't know what I'm getting for Christmas because I pay attention to the money and you don't, is that you spend it in a different account so that I can't see the charges, right? Like I can't see like, personalizedsocks.com and know, oh,
I'm getting some
I'm
personalized
getting
socks.
personalized socks. So you spend it, and then after Christmas, you say, you go, household spending owes Crider Racing $783.56. And I'm looking at my socks and my lotion, and I'm like, $783.50. What the fuck? I'm like,
We also
God.
bought an intake manifold.
well, and
for
I'm also like, God damn it.
an accurate
You fucking ordered the shit on December 21st, and now I'm
Overnighted it.
paying the expedited shipping. Like, no. Fuck, you don't fucking love me. You don't fucking love me. Personalizedsocks.com, they're year round. You could have bought this shit in November. $783.56. I'm paying expedited prices for lotion and fucking socks.
It's true. It's true. It seems like you've gotten butt hurt no matter what I do. Like sometimes, like one year, I remember I was like, I'm super smart. I'm going to get this shit done early. I did all of my shopping online, and you were butthurt that I did that. Like, you didn't even fucking go out. You bought everything on Amazon. You didn't even fucking leave your goddamn couch. You bought everything for Christmas. Like, oh, didn't do that right. Then the other year,
Okay,
oh,
but-
you waited to the last minute. You didn't buy something. I'm like, dude, is there shit under the fucking tree for you? Yes.
But again-
who cares how it got here or when I fucking did it?
The Amazon year, again, like when you're like, well, you're the custodian of the Amazon account. Like I'm the one paying attention. So I'm getting on Amazon and I'm just like, hey, is there a shipping update on this, Barbie Dream House that's coming for our daughter? And then I'm looking and it's like, Barbie Dream House due Tuesday,
Bud Light
coming
sweatshirt.
today, Bud Light sweatshirt, all this. And then you will even say to me like, hey, can you check the Amazon account and see if we got some shit being delivered today? Because I'm still looking for one of your presents. Like, is it coming? Is it lost in the mail? You're the custodian of the Amazon account. And I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
So you're saying you cheated and you peeked and you saw what you're getting for Christmas?
You asked me to. You were
I
like,
didn't say look at the details. Just
You
said
know-
it's a package coming. Don't look
Hey.
at what it is.
there's a Bud Light sweatshirt coming. Can you track it for me?
I hope it's your size. It's not. Could you make an adjustment?
Just go ahead and
Listen,
reorder in your
I went
size.
in the cart. Just go in there and adjust all the sizes and shit, and then act surprised on Christmas morning, for God's sakes.
Well, I mean, I've started doing that now. I get stuff delivered and I just hand it to you and I'm like, hey,
Let's just be honest. It turns out it's Christmas every fucking week at our house
I-
now for you.
but I say to you, hey, you're going to give this to me on Christmas. So that way our children think that they have parents who buy gifts for each other. Like,
and love each other.
so just so you're not surprised when I open my present, this is what you got me.
Mm.
And then you say to me like, well,
Would I have bought that?
Can you wrap it? Like, you're a better rapper.
Yeah, just wrap it for
Just
me.
wrap
Make
it
it
for
look
me
good.
too.
Actually, just throw a couple of blemishes in the wrapping so it looks like I wrapped it. You know what I mean? But you did say something early in this episode where you're like, yeah, people always think, we had the argument, the one argument we ever had. But the reality is that we actually don't fight that much. And then some people ask us like, oh my gosh, you guys have been married over a quarter of a century, so many years. Like, how do you do it? And we feel guilty because we really don't have any advice for them. Like, we're like, I can't say like, well, this is how we do it. And you show respect to each other and communication and get along and buy Christmas presents early like that. That's certainly not the case. But we just get along and we love each other and get along. Like, there's no real answer or secret sauce I can give somebody so that they can have a positive relationship with their spouse.
Yeah. No, when people ask, okay, I have a different answer.
Okay.
When people ask me like, well, what's the secret? I go like, well, the secret is that you're just about 17 times a day. You say it to yourself. You don't say it out loud because that would cause a second argument, and you only want to have the argument in December of 2015. So to avoid multiple arguments, you say it in your head, and you just say like you're the custodian of the bank account, and you look at the bank account, and it's just like personal. Not to keep saying personalizedSocks.com, but and you're like, this is a dumb motherfucker. He bought me personalized socks again. And then you get like the tracking updates to your email. He has his own email, but he just sends it to you because he doesn't want to be spammed later by personalizedSocks.com. And then you get the email and you're like, extra large, this dumb mother. I'm not even extra large in socks. He is. I'm not. He ordered socks his size and not mine. So you just say under your breath, this dumb motherfucker. But then you have to say to yourself, I chose this for better, for worse. And then you just put a smile on your face and you hug him and you just power through. Like, that's the secret. You just power through. And then you also say, if I play my cards right, he's going to retire at 50. I'm going to be 47. I'm going to retire at 47.
He dies at 51.
No, I don't say that. I just say.
Huge life insurance.
I just say,
I'll find someone else younger who loves me.
Off. No, I don't say
Buys
that part.
gifts from me a lot earlier.
I just say, it's all going to pay off.
I thought it was oral sex. I thought the whole answer here was oral sex, mutually.
Okay, wait. You thought that the secret to our marriage was
Secret to our happy marriage.
mutual oral sex?
Yes.
Like we do, like 69, like at the same time, because we rarely do that.
Yeah, that's not our thing.
I don't really like.
We
that.
take turns.
Yeah, I don't really like thinking about like your nose in my asshole. Like I just I'm not comfortable with that. And I need to be, what do you have to say? Like, Venus has to be in Mercury and it has to be like 72 degrees ambient temperature.
Yeah. There's a better shot at shooting a rocket to the fucking moon than there is getting in your pants. Like, so many things have to be aligned.
But if I feel like your nose is in my asshole, like, that's not working.
Yeah.
So
I didn't say.
You're just saying like a take turns.
Yeah. Giving each other our cookies.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But
good.
I mean, you make it sound like we're just like these like constant like everydayist cunnilingists and fellatioists, and we're not.
I didn't say that.
I
didn't say the secret of the marriage is daily blowjobs. I said the secret of the marriage is mutual oral sex.
I think it's mutual giving and taking, and just being, mutually like respecting each other and providing for each other, and a back and forth, a balanced back and forth.
Yeah.
And ordering pizza.
Turns out that's good. Not fat shaming the other person when they order a pizza.
We should order a pizza tonight.
Well, the question is, though, is it going to be Domino's or Mountain Mike's?
Oh, god dang.
We had some Mountain Mike's
so
yesterday.
good. Okay, so
It was good.
Here's just a life hack. Like, if you want to be the most popular person in a room.
Yes. We learned this last night.
Pretend like you're on a pub crawl, and you're on a pub crawl with strangers. It's like this like reunion situation. Like, I knew these people 25 years ago. We had this like hardcore shared experience where we went through a 6-month intense paramilitary academy. Now it's 25 years. We're having a reunion. We're getting back together. And one of us is just like, we are going to march through this town to numerous bars. None of them serve food.
So first of all, the person who is the director of social activities, me,
You
did a fucking dumb thing, and then he planned all these really dope hipster bars, assuming they had little bites to eat.
No food.
Found out all the food you could drink was only tequila.
All the food you could
Yeah,
drink. Okay,
yeah,
gotcha.
There was
gotcha,
nothing.
gotcha.
There's no actual fucking meal. There was just tequila.
So so the funny thing is that we meet at 2:00. That's our meetup. Everybody meets up at 2:00, and everyone comes at 2:00, and everyone's like, it's 2:00. It's not lunch. It's not dinner. Like, I had lunch before I got here. I'm drinking, except for you.
I did full entree at the Golden Bear.
You were sitting there, and you had this like breakfast wrap brunch thing. It was
Burrito
just like
thing.
this
It was
giant,
large as a plate.
It was a plate-sized tortilla. There was beans. There was egg. There was
Cheese.
cheese. It was huge.
Yeah.
And so
I just powered through it, just sucking down IPAs and eating it in front of everybody.
everyone is arriving.
I was fully fucking
It's-
carved up.
It's 2:00. Everyone's like, I haven't seen you in 25 years. There's hugging. There's high-fiving. And you're just like, yeah, we'll get to that. Like,
I did. I
I'm
didn't
eating
hug
this.
anybody. I just
You
ate
didn't-
my food.
You didn't get up.
I just gave the nod. I'm like, hey, what's up, bro?
Yeah, no. Everyone is coming in, and as each new person comes in, everyone stands up, everyone hugs. There's like the scraping of the knife on your plate as you're eating, and everyone's like, "Are we eating? It's 2:00. Like, I ate lunch before we came. Like, we'll get dinner later." And other people,
Joke's on them.
yeah, no,
Because as they're later in the fucking pub crawl, everyone was hungry except for me.
they were naively saying to each other, like, "Oh, I'm sure we'll eat later." And so everyone collectively, they're like, I mean, we're in our late 40s and early 50s. Like, we're gonna eat dinner later. I'm sure somewhere in this pub crawl, there's like an early bird special that Rob has lined up because Rob is a resourceful fucking dude.
I might as
And
well
I'm
just
like-
shoved like a napkin in my fucking shirt and be like Al Capone sitting there like, hey, everybody.
Yeah.
we're gonna do this pub
No,
crawl."
and then Rob's a resourceful dude, and I'm like, yeah, no, he's resourceful. That's why he's eating the biggest fucking burrito at 2 p.m.
right now.
Because he's not
He
gonna
knows
eat.
something that none of us know.
He's not gonna eat.
Only
again.
thing to eat on this fucking pub crawl is tequila.
Yeah. So then we go to bar after bar after bar after bar. No food, no food.
And I kept hearing like grumblings like, is there food here? I'm like, yeah. I never checked for food.
Can we get food here? Are we
Yeah,
ordering?
I'm sure you can.
Are we ordering food?
Probably.
And,
Do you like tequila?
Yeah, I don't know why you would order food here because we're leaving in 27
It's a hit and run,
minutes.
dude.
It's a hit and run.
You got to drink a
get your
tequila
drink
and then
let's
move on.
go.
It's called a pub crawl, not a lunch crawl.
So the life hack is finally we're at a place and they don't have food.
Oh, by the way, this is the place I was sure had food. So I put it at the end of the pub crawl. I'm like, don't worry, the cabin will be great. Everyone gets to eat at the cabin. Just make it to the end. There'll be food at the cabin. And we walk in, and I even said, like, hey, you guys got a dinner menu? They're like, we don't have any fucking food here. I was like, oh, shit. It's a good thing I had that burrito, too.
So now, at this point, it's probably about 7:00, and people are starting to fade. Your own wife, she's run off, and she's bought a sweatshirt down the street because she's cold, and
Yeah.
people are starting to fade. And you're just continuing to drink. And this is where the life hack comes in. I promised a life hack. One person, Scott Landers, I don't
Lander,
know
no S.
Lander, so resorceful.
Yeah.
He got on
He's
his
my
phone.
partner.
He asked the bartenders, like, is it okay if we order pizza here? And they said yes. And all of a sudden, the biggest pizza I've ever seen in my life.
He got an extra large.
Oh my
dude.
God.
He was knocking people over in the bar,
Yeah.
bringing that box in. And like somebody hit me in the side. I'm like, oh, who's moving furniture? I turn around. Oh, it's a fucking pizza box.
It was
coming
so
in
huge.
here.
It wasn't even like family size. It was like dumbass pub crawl size. The biggest pizza, like, I don't know, 47 pieces of pizza. And he just plopped it in, and he became
The hero.
the
dude.
fucking
Nobody remembers that
hero.
Rob Kreider set this whole pub crawl up.
No.
Everyone just remembers that Scott Lander ordered a pizza.
Yeah, no, later when you and I were doing like mutual back and forth oral sex, I was thinking of that pizza, and I was like, thank you, Scott Lander. Like, that's
Well done.
fucking, that was amazing.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah. And
So
now,
that was Mountain Mike's pizza, by the way. That's what.
and now we
brings
have
all full circle.
decided, I mean, we didn't wake up this morning and say, hey, let's stop doing pub crawls without food. We actually decided, let's continue to do exactly what we do, but let's just make sure we remember that we can order a pizza.
And order ahead, like a bar ahead.
Yeah.
Like, hey, y'all, we're moving along. And then we show up like, surprise.
Yeah, let's
the
just
cabin
keep-
has Mountain Mike's
Let's
pizza.
just keep dragging people through towns from bar to bar to bar to bar.
They did seem
Let's get them
confused.
fucked up.
Like, I've never seen this bar before. I've never seen this bar before. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to show you a bunch of cool bars. Just keep on trucking, bro.
Yeah. But now we'll reward them with pizza at
Pizza
the end.
at the end. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's good. I think it's a great idea.
But
Thank you,
who
Scott.
is going to reward me with pizza tonight at the Embassy Suites?
You are going to do that yourself
Okay.
with a phone.
Okay.
And it's just going to come like magically here.
Magically here.
All right. So on that note, we got some pizza to order. Cheers.
Cheers.
And that was Last Call. You did it. You survived an episode of Stories and Cocktails. But did Rob or Sarah's liver survive the show? I don't know. Tune into the next episode to find out, to enjoy some more stories and some more cocktails. By the way, if you want to support the debauchery of the show, then buy the host their next round by Venmoing a couple of gold doubloons at Stories and Cocktails. Back in the day, a gold doubloon was only $4 Spanish. Who knew? Well, folks, I'll be right here behind the bar, cleaning the glassware and awaiting your return to the Stories and Cocktails podcast. Cheerio, friends.